What were the strengths of our opening?
I think that the characters that you had portraying the people you was playing were really convincing. I think they worked. They did really well together. Even though some of the scenes were quite uncomfortable, it was really realistic, and you sort of bought them as a couple. You understood it.
What were the weaknesses of our opening?
I would say that the voiceover sometimes is too far apart. Like, I got a little bit lost at the end because I realised it was the recovery, and then it all sort of linked in together. But because the narration over the images was slightly apart, I lost a little bit of track. But it made sense when you see that the film was called The Recovery.
How do you think it conforms to the conventions of a romance opening?
I think that the soundtrack that you've used is very stereotypical of a love scene. You've got quite sort of delicate instruments playing, so you can tell that it is a love scene, and obviously it runs parallel with the images, so it is really good.
What were the strengths of our opening?
I thought the way you did the titles of the director and all the actors and stuff were really good because they didn't intervene with the scene, they just flowed with it from different places.
What do you think the weaknesses of our opening were?
I think when the doctor tells the girl that obviously something's gone on, I think the shot, it cut out at the top and at the bottom it wasn't like a proper shot. I think it should have either been a bit closer or a bit further away. And that's it really.
How do you think it conformed to the conventions of a romance opening?
The thing that sticks out in my mind is when they were laying in bed and the heart shape was put on the bed and it said something about the director or someone, and they was just always together and you could tell that they were loving towards each other, so it was quite obvious.
What were the strengths of our film opening?
You could really tell what the storyline was in the film opening.
What was the weaknesses of our film opening?
I didn't feel there was enough voiceovers.
How did our film opening conform to the conventions of a romance film?
Well, you could tell it was a romance because there was like a lot of kissing and cuddling and like lots of emotions. Like when he died, you could tell she was really upset.
What were the strengths of our film opening?
I liked the way that you fit in all the people that were cast in and the producers in everything, like the bottom of the cups and on top of the cake and stuff like that.
What were the weaknesses of our film opening?
I didn't really get the storyline to the end. I got they were like romantic and lovers, but I didn't really get that John died at the end.
How did our film opening conform to the conventions of a romance genre?
I could tell because like they were really romantic and they were kissing and hugging all the time and all the kind of red in it all the time.
What did you think was good about my film opening?
I think it was like very clear and everything, and I managed to see like what was happening. I could understand it properly.
What feedback would you give me for my opening?
I don't think there's anything.
What did you think was good about the opening?
I thought it was good the way like they was doing stuff together and that.
What feedback would you give me?
Don't know.
What feedback would you give me?
I wasn't sure about the ending because it wasn't too clear when the boy died.
What did you think was good about the opening?
I really liked it. I think it was a very good teaser and really drew me in. I think I really want to see more of that.
What feedback would you give me for the opening?
I think gives the characters a little bit of dialogue, not so much narration.
What did you like about the film opening?
I knew what was going on. The start with the credits was really cool with the certain objects like the cake and the coffee, and maybe add a little more happen at the end.
In our film opening, we show the social groups white middle class. This is generic of romance films that we'd looked at before. We've shown this through our characters, who are white and both middle class, through the props they use. For example, they have like iPhones and stuff, which other lower classes probably wouldn't have. The settings we used also show like middle class, because the houses are quite expensive looking. And this is also shown through like the different types of shots we used, the lighting and stuff, and like generally the mise-en-scène. However, to show throughout our film other social groups, we'd need to add in maybe people that are not white and are from different classes. This would get us to a wider audience, so that more people would be interested in